How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 124 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, my special guest in the Zoom building is a returning guest who I had on a long time ago, man, way back on episode 25 that dropped on March 19th. 2019. The podcast was very different then. I used to do topics and then interview. And this is one of the guests who, was just chopped it up with me. And obviously on top of that is extremely talented artist, dropped a new album, Life is Art. And I'm just happy to have him on. I got LuvAndreas with me today. Andreas, what's good, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Life's good. I'm learning how to appreciate life and the little things, and I'm learning and growing as I go. I'm only 23 years old. I'm still young. And God, it's been a journey, bro. The album, like you just mentioned, Life is Art. It's been an absolute journey since the last time I was on the podcast with you. And I'm happy to be back here. You're a great host, and I appreciate you for letting me on again.
Yeah, man. When I decided to revamp the podcast back in September, you were definitely one of those people who hit me up, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have to make this, we're going to have to run it back again because it's been such a long time. And obviously so much has happened between 2019 and now that it's only right that I had you back on, man. And, obviously 3.5 years since that last episode. Obviously there was the pandemic and stuff and all the crazy shit. But what have you learned, I guess, in the last 3 years that has really helped you improve in your music? What would you say that's really stood out to you?
That's helped me improve my music, I would say, is living life outside of music, actually. Honestly, like a big part of it is you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta be true to the art. And that is something I've talked about on the album. And it's just me living my life and experiencing a normal life and not being locked up in my room, in my studio all day long, just grinding. Because eventually you're going to run out of things to say because you're not really living life anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was a big part of it. I need to learn how to just slow down, live in the moment, spend time with my family, spend time with my friends, support other people, be a better friend, be a better person, be a better sibling, be a better son. And I think it's all translated into the music because I was going down a path where I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. Eventually, things just felt stagnant, and I was just like, where am I headed right now? Because I'm so locked into the music that I have not experienced my life. I'm still young and I haven't done shit really. I've just been in my room all day long grinding, and I had to learn to let that part go and just slow down. And it honestly has improved my music by tenfold, and I think it was the right decision.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I think people don't understand, if they don't make music or just anything creative, certain things about your life and the quality of it helps improve the music. You can't just keep working and keep going. There's certain points with music where you have to just improve other things outside of it to better yourself and make better content, man. And that's a very great point that you brought up there with what you've been doing to sustain a quality music creation. You know what I mean? People got to understand that stuff's super important, man. And with your latest album, I can definitely tell, considering the title is Life is Art. What made you decide to go with that title for the album? That's a very, very just deep title. So what made you decide to go with that?
Honestly, it was just my struggles with my music, because last year I thought I was done. I was I was at a point where I thought I was finished the music. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I honestly hated it. And I had a song on the album called Hey Art, which was a reflection of that time. And I realized that is a part of the journey. And a lot of it is just everything I see now is art in a sense. I've always had to learn to appreciate the little things in my life. I had a tough life growing up, and it kind of forced me to appreciate the little things and really hone in on what I have around me, and to not be so worried about the future, be more worried about what you're doing right now in the moment. And so I think ever since I started thinking that way, I started seeing everybody around me as art. Everybody has their own story. Everybody's beautiful and unique in their own way. The life you live itself it's your masterpiece. It's the way you live it. It's you're painting on your canvas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that realization like really stuck with me. And it just, everything I see now, like ups and downs, it's all the same. It's okay. It's just a part of life. That's the journey. That is the artist's journey. And I read a book, War on Art, which really inspired me, and it got me back on my creative, I call it the creative antenna, where I'm
Yeah.
pulling in from the cloud, and that I finally like got in touch with that again. And so I was inspired by that, and that saved my career, saved my life. And I had to make an album about it. I had to. It was a part
Yeah.
of it, you know?
Yeah, man. That's awesome. And just appreciating the little things. It's so important. And I think that just comes with maturity. You know, a lot of times you just are pretty naive when you're younger. And
Yeah.
it's just the way things go. You know, if I meet somebody and they tell me they're 21, I'm already gonna assume just certain things about them just from that. And you know, and that's not right, you know, to be like ageist. I guess that's what they say nowadays is ageist. But it's like, I know when I was 21, I didn't have like an appreciation for certain things, and so it's very cool to hear you say that, man. You know, you gotta, you know, just take in everything. It can all, you know, help you out, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's very dope to hear, man. And you know, on this album, it seemed like you had a lot of you know, you're talking about, you know, breakup and heartbreak, and you know, that's that LuvAndreas bag. I'm well aware of, you know, and I love the style, man. And but I was very also you know, I guess surprised, for lack of a better term, by you talking about your self-improvement and therapy, you know, on a song like Behind Me.
Yes.
Talk about you know, going to therapy and, you know, how that's improved your overall well-being. You know, I'm a big proponent of therapy and, you know, mental health and stuff. So talk about that and what that's done for your overall just life, music, just in general.
Absolutely. I think therapy was a place where I didn't feel crazy. I was in tune with somebody and in touch with somebody that has a moral boundary, and they understand what's right and what's wrong. And I feel like I've always had my heart in the right place, but the approach I would take was always wrong.
Mm.
So being in therapy, I've had and you got to be fully open when you're in therapy. You can't go in there and fuck around. Like you got to get shit done. You got to be honest. You got to admit your faults if you want to move forward. That's the whole process of it. So I finally had that place where I was able to just like give out, like, this is what I do. This is how I am. I've treated people like shit, and I don't know like how to be a better man. I don't know like where this is all coming from. And therapy was a place where I was allowed to be me. And eventually, my therapist would just plant seeds in your head that like would flourish throughout your life, and it made me realize things that I needed to realize to progress forward in terms of why I am the way I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So once you start to realize like how your past traumas have affected you, and why you are the way you are, you can start making those corrective notions that will improve your character and make you reach your higher self, who you eventually are trying to be, which is somebody that is in line with a strong moral, with strong morals and ethics and boundaries. That is who you want to be eventually. If it's a good person, that your higher self isn't like, and I don't want to like say this, but like a celebrity, like that's not like who your higher self is. Your higher self is who you are, who you can be in the moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I've definitely been more in tune with that, and therapy helped me get there. And I think the world would be a better place if everybody was in therapy. I mean, even therapists aren't therapists for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stubborn people out here, man. So they don't, you know, they don't want to talk about their feelings, and they don't. But
Yeah,
I think with the younger generation in our age range, I think we're a lot more open to that type of stuff, and so
100%.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't know,
100%.
yeah, I don't really feel like older people too much adopt those things. At least what I see in like in my life, I guess. You know, there's certain
Same.
families who you know, certain cultures, certain families, some people pick it up, but then other cultures you just see like, ain't nobody going to therapy. And then if you tell people you go to, there was a time, you know, you told people to go to therapy, they're like, are you like batshit crazy? Like, what's going on here? And it's like, nah, like I'm just trying to.
You need therapy. You need therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do need therapy. I'm in there for a reason, but tag along with me.
Yeah, right. it's just funny, man. There's no stigma behind it, and things are starting to slowly die down in that aspect, in today's world, not as shunned upon as it should be, which is like, it just makes no sense to me, man. But it's dope that you're getting your shit off on this project, and just being very honest about stuff, man. One of my favorite songs off this project, man, is New Home. And you got
Ooh.
that, you got that dance vibe to it. I'm really messing with that one. What made you decide to go with that type of aesthetic with the beat for this song here?
Oh, dude. I mean, I was in St. Louis and I just got there, and new home, new city, and I was just feeling the vibes. So that's what that song was about. It was just me like having that fun, vibrant energy that I have when I'm traveling. Mm-hmm. And I had to make a song about it, and it just really translated over. I love making songs when I'm really feeling certain emotions, whether they're positive or negative. And that was one of the more positive emotions I was feeling. I was just like, I got to make a song about this.
Yeah, man, that's dope. How is it? Are you still in St. Louis right now?
Back in Boston, back home.
Okay. Hey, back in the beam, man. How was being out in St. Louis?
It was dope, bro. We were living at St. Louis University. My roommate, best friend, he plays on the team, and we were just supporting him the whole time. It was great.
Yeah,
go Billikens.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's cool. I definitely need to do more traveling around, man. It just definitely reminds me of that there, man. But yeah, that's dope to hear, man. With Life is Art, you have 20 songs. That's a lot of songs for a project, man. Yeah. So I want to ask you, what was some of the struggles or bumpy roads that you hit when working on this album? Was there any?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, some of these songs go back to a year and a half ago. Everything I Didn't Want, that song is from a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
So, because when I stopped making music in like 2020, I took a good year off and really just got depressed as shit. And that was when I just started questioning my existence, started questioning my music, everything I'm doing. I thought I was done. And that whole year, I just couldn't make a song. I had severe writer's block, but in a sense, it was more so just I was very depressed. And I think when you're in that state, it's like, it's hard to make music sometimes. Yeah. And I was at a point where I've always had like my battles with depression and anxiety since I was a kid. I was like, I don't want to just like trauma dump, put this out there, but I'm going to say right now, because I'm comfortable with it, I don't really mind sharing. Like I've been like suicidal since I was like age 9. So I've always had my battles, and I had like diagnosed with like trichomania when I was like 12, whatever it was. And that's like severe anxiety that goes down that lane. So I hit a point where I was just like so depressed where I'm not even making music anymore. So my depression on top of that just got like 20 times worse, because I can't even make art now. I can't even do the thing that I fucking love. Holy shit. Yeah. So that was the biggest bump, was just getting over that writer's block and working through what I had to work through, working through the trauma, working through what I wanted for myself in the future, what path I wanted to take. And I knew like I was at a turning point. Either I'm fucking done with music and I'm going to go live a fucking corporate life, fuck me, or I'm going to do this shit and put my all into it. And I made the right choice for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and going back to what you're saying, so 20 songs. I know it's a lot. So album's under an hour though, which isn't too bad.
No, it's a good listen, man, for sure. So yeah,
yeah, and your typical millennial will tell you like, oh, you gotta drop singles, don't do albums. No one wants you to do albums, but like fuck that, man. Like I'm not trying to cater and conform my art to the fucking small attention spans that this current generation has. Like, screw that, dude. I'm going to drop an album because that's what I've always done. My first project in 2018 was an album.
Yeah.
Like that's just what I've always done. It's just, it feels like me, and the song top to bottom, the songs are all fire. So it's not like it's an issue. I'm not throwing any throwaway songs on there. This is my greatest project, top to bottom. I can't even tell you what my favorite song is. They're all, I like them all. And, yeah, I mean, 20 songs I had to drop it. These are all old songs. I'm ready to move on to a new version of myself. And I had to get all those songs off my shoulders, because that was me going through this whole journey that I've been on. So I just let that go. And now I'm ready to focus on some new emotions. And I can't wait for that. I already got a couple songs lined up, got like 15 already going. So 2023 is looking primed. I can't wait.
Yeah, you already set up, man. You staying ahead of the schedule. Yeah, that's how it's got to be, man. If you're gonna release all this content, like, it's definitely important that you have other shit to follow it up. Like I never believed in, emptying the tank when it comes to your music. Like you gotta have some things ready to go as you release, so that way you're not like, oh shit, I ran out of music completely. I don't believe in that. Yeah, yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So it's just definitely one of those things, man. And I just back to all the stuff that you were going through, man. I just want to say it's very impressive with how open you are, and being honest about that stuff, man, because, the more people that talk about it and the more people that make it open, it makes, people realize, like, we all go through these things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we all have little bits in our own struggles that we deal with. And so for you to address it in your music and address on this platform, man, very much appreciated, man, for real.
Hey, thank you for recognizing that. I do appreciate that as well.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely, dog. Now, this album right here, bro, you definitely getting off, a lot of the heartbreak stuff. And, one of the songs that I was really messing with is That Should Be Me. I was really vibing with this one right here, man. Talk about, the creation of this song, how it came about.
So I made that beat actually about a year ago. I went through those. Oh man, I shouldn't have been dating who I dated. It was a bad, very toxic relationship, and I don't want to put that out there. She could be watching, and I don't want to really talk about it too much.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I like putting my feelings out there. I don't like putting my stories out there, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, you gotta have some sort of privacy. You can't just be super out there with it. Artists say like, "Oh, I'm real," but it's like you're real to an extent, like to a point where it's not gonna be like outing somebody or making shit public that you don't want. So yeah, no, good, man.
Long story short, shit hit the fan. I mean, just unloyalty on the other end, and that's what that song was about. Just like, that should be me, and it's not me, and fuck you for that, because you made me feel some type of way, and you got me to trust you. You told me I'm the one. Like you can't be saying that shit when you're not, when that person's clearly not the one. It's a damn shame. I think when I don't like liars. I don't like being told. I don't like people pleasing. I don't like that shit at all. Keep it real, keep it straight, so you're not wasting my time, you're not hurting anybody. And if you're not aligning with that, then I'm gonna fucking diss you about it. And that song was a diss track. So
yeah. Nah, man. I love it, man. That's that's really dope to hear, man. I'm gonna ask you a question, man. Because with your music and your sound, I just want your opinion on it, man. Because I've always told people, like, there's something about heartbreak songs that I think just nothing hits harder to me than a heartbreak song. Like when I go through a lot of stuff I listen to, I'm like, songs that, talk about, on some violent shit, or, songs just about going hard or whatever. That's cool. But I've always attributed the hardest hitting songs to be, heartbreak stuff, man. I want to ask you though, what do you think it is about, heartbreak songs that just hits people so hard, coming from LuvAndreas, with, you making this type of music. What do you think, resonates so hard with people with this type of music?
That's a good question. I mean, everybody goes through heartbreak. So, I mean, right there, it's just instantly relatable. And heartbreaks, I think, facilitate the most personal change you can make in your life. And that change is so vital to who you are as a person that you can't ever forget a heartbreak. The feelings, you can think about it, reminisce about it, and you might actually just end up re-feeling it, reliving it, because it's that powerful. So I think instantly just that's why it's so attractive, because of how powerful it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That shit will stick with you. Every man and woman, remembers their, that first heartbreak, man. That shit, that shit will put some, will help you grow and mature. Can either make you or break you, and hopefully, makes you a better person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, man, that's definitely one of those things. Love and heartbreak. When in doubt, make a song about that. Usually, usually you can have a good time with people. Relating to it and vibing to it and all that stuff, man.
Make a career out of it. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's really something special to that, man. It never cease to fail, man. But yeah, man, in terms of, what's coming up next for you, Is there anything you could hint at people for what's coming from LuvAndreas in 2023?
Way more music, way more polish, just better in every sector you can possibly imagine. Just the writing, the mixes, the beats, production, just overall artistry and just concepts. It's all going to be just super creative stuff. Right now, I'm like trying to enter a lane on just like some self-worth, like still with like the self-realizations, but just more like self-worth. And I'm excited to drop that because this album was pretty down bad. A couple of glimpses of hope in there, but for the most part, it was pretty down bad. And I can't wait to just like make some more happier songs and feel good songs. So that's honestly the next lane that I'm going to be entering.
Hell
also, yeah, got a, I don't know, dude, we got a lot more content on the way. I got 3 music videos on the way, and we're just going to keep it going. So
hey,
a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, man, no, it's definitely a lot to look forward to right there, man. You know, you got the chamber loaded, so that's always dope to hear, bro.
Yeah.
I want to ask you just about you know, you're a producer, you're an engineer as well. You know, your mixes, your beats were dope. You know, last time I had you on and, you know, listen to your older stuff, but I could definitely tell there's been an improvement in the sound and everything else. What have you learned that you could, you know, share with the people about producing and engineering since the last time I had you on?
Yeah. With producing, I would say theory honestly helped me out a lot. Like learning how to just play piano, learning how music works, how it sounds, getting your ear trained. That all helps so much. It just makes the process way smoother than having to just go and just, because I used to just experiment, just keep turning knobs, playing keys until just something sounded good. Oh, yeah. Now I have an idea of what I need to do. So it's way easier, it's way smoother, and it just sounds, you can make like cooler shit.
Yeah, man. That's cool though, yeah. And in terms of engineering, has there been any changes that you've done with that, or is that you have your process down with that in terms like nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, engineering, I've had a lot of help. I want to give a shout out to Daniel Alvarez. I mean, Daniel has helped me out like majorly. He's an engineer in Chicago, and he's taught me a lot of things. And I basically just learned from him. Anytime like I have an issue with my mix or something, I send it his way. He give me the notes back, like this is what you should do. Use this plugin, do this, that. So. I mean, yeah, just clearing out that muddiness was a big thing, and just knowing like how to EQ. I think EQ is just major. You want to get like your bass EQ set up, and then you want to throw on all the other plugins after that, saturation, distortion, whatever else you add on. But yeah, my vocal chain is still being updated. It's not where I want it to be yet. I think we had a lot of mixing issues on the album. My boy RJC was mastering the project, and I was mixing the vocals, and I was traveling while we were mixing and mastering. I was in St. Louis and Chicago the last month, and we actually were working on the go. So it was tough there because I didn't have my mixing headset, which gives you know that clarity that you need to hear. So I was kind of working through his ears, and we ran into a lot of issues and a lot of realizations about what I need to change in my mixes as well. So it's just it's a process that just keeps getting better and better. You're going to make slight changes that make massive differences, and just blend the beat and glue the vocals into the beat way better. So it's just practice. That's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That mixing process is like the most important thing. I don't think people understand like the mix of a song and mastering of a song can completely change how people perceive your song. You know, you can make a dope song, but if it's not mixed in a right way for that particular song, like it could change everything. So it's very impressive that you take that apart yourself, man. I stay the hell away from mixing. I'm like, nah, I want to make sure this shit's A1, you know, I don't want to take no chances, you know what I mean?
Which I respect. Like I'm definitely going to go down that lane. I only have 3 production credits on the album, by the way. I don't really have that many, which is kind of unfortunate. I think the next project, I definitely got to get more production in there.
Yeah, you know, but you know, sometimes, you know, working with other people's beats and working on your own. Do you ever feel like it brings like a different side out of you? Like, do you feel like
it did?
Yeah, definitely.
It 100% did. I like, which is cool. It was dope. I just felt like to my roots, like who I was, I just kind of let my old self down because like I didn't really produce much on the album. But in a sense of collaboration, yeah, man, collaboration has been everything the last few months. You know, I'm in the Squad of Nights NFT project, and There's just been major opportunities there. I've met some amazing producers, amazing artists, amazing engineers, and just like-minded people. And I've we got a dope album on the way that's executive produced by Illmind, which is absolutely blessed. I'm super excited for that. And
Hell yeah,
yeah, man, collaboration has been major for sure.
Yeah, no, it's very dope when you find a producer that, like, you know, shit just clicks and like everything is like, oh, I got this beat, I got that beat. Like it's a very good feeling, and you know, it's like having like your barber you go to, you know what I mean? It can almost be like, it's like that type of thing. It's like, you know what to do, like, you know the shit, you know. And so it's always good when you can find that, whether online, in person, it don't matter. You know, I think you know, it's because if you just go around getting like all these type beats from this, there, and there, like you don't end up with this cohesion of a sound. You know, like when I'm listening to, you know, Life is Art, I'm like, okay, it's very clear, like you got a sound you're going for and nothing's too out there, you know, but while you're also giving variety, you know, it shows, man. So yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you for noticing that. That was something I definitely wanted to stick out.
Oh yeah, you know, when you're putting together a 20-track album, man, you gotta sequence things correctly, and the beat choices, everything like that. It's a critical part of the album process. So
yeah,
man. So just having all that down is you know, super important, man. You know, we talked a lot about this album here, man. You know, if someone came up to you who never heard your music and said, "Why do I gotta listen to Life is Art?" What would your pitch be to them?
Because there ain't no other album like it. Like, that's simple. There's nothing like it. It's true. It's genuine. I'm being hella honest. I'm
really talking your shit, man, on this one. Like I was like, it says, I was like, damn, like he is letting it off, yo. Like that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And if you're looking for some original captions for your fucking pictures or something, there's plenty in there. There's an abundance of one-liners that are just hard. Like it's just a self-realization album that I think anybody can relate to. And if you want to fucking feel those emotions, go vibe. It's just, and there's a lot of variety. So if you got a certain genre that you're looking for, I'm sure there's going to be something in there that you're going to enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. You definitely, your variety is well put together on this project, man. You know, ladies and gentlemen, definitely listen to Life is Art. This shit's bumping. The latest from LuvAndreas. I gotta ask you one more question before we get out of here, and I ask this to every guest I have on, with what they do, because I think it's just very important. But what's some advice that you would give to any artist out there who's just starting out, man? What's some tips that you would like to share?
Don't chase money. Don't expect to get rich from this. Prepare to face treacherous moments. Like get ready for it. Yeah. But also don't forget, have fun with it. You got to have fun. And I mean, don't get lost up in trying to people please. Don't get lost up in trying to portray an image of who you're not. Make sure that you stay aligned with who you are as a person, and always look to improve yourself. It's gonna go into your music. And make sure your intentions are clear. You got to have good intentions with everything you do. I think that's a realization that really helped me out with my art.
Gems. The gems, ladies and gentlemen. I love it, man. No, that's dope, man. Great advice, man. LuvAndreas, I really appreciate you being on this episode today, man. Glad we run it back, you know, for the part 2. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. Been a great time. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely, dog. Is there anything you want to plug for the people before we wrap it up?
Man, just want to give a shout out to the people around me, people that have supported me, to the fans that are listening, everybody that's believed in me and like didn't give up on me. Thank you so much for that and for keeping me going. And yeah, I'm so grateful for that. Without you guys, I wouldn't have been here. So thank you.
Hell yeah, man. LuvAndreas, thank you very much for being on the show, man. It's much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 124 of the TempahZone podcast. Make sure you tune in next week for another one. All right. Peace out.
Peace out.